Okay, so what am I doing here today? I have my son with me, and we are pouring a foundation for a greenhouse. It's not a typical foundation. It's normally this would be out of concrete. What we're doing is we have concrete piers dug along the way. These spans are anywhere from 4 feet to maximum 6 feet spans between the piers. We're going into a slope that's uphill over there. And so these boards, you could kind of see how they step down a little bit. That steps down from that. And same over here. This steps down, that steps down, and that steps down. But it's about 3.5 inches of stepping down. And once I level the floor, since these are 6x6s, I got 5.5 inches. I have 3.5 inches of grade, so I'll be able to level this floor and still have boards visible, if that makes sense. Anyway, so what we did was we leveled each board. You could see the amount of shimming required, and we drilled the holes, put in the nut in the washer on the top, and you can see the J-bolts dangling below. And Thomas is pouring concrete into my little makeshift forms. You could see my form on the back side right there. And there goes the concrete. I like square forms. I don't like to see the tubes. I think the round is ugly. This is all going to be laid brick floor, and I don't have to deal with round tubes, bricking around the round tubes. And on the outside, the reason I don't want the round tubes is I'm not using galvanized post bases. So the pressure treated lumber is in direct contact with the top of the pier. And if I had a round tube there, when the rainwater would hit, it would collect on the top of the round pier, and possibly, we're talking decades, but it might rot the board faster. So what I'm doing here is I'm squaring off my piers so that anytime it rains, it's concrete straight down. There's no place for the water to collect. Or at least that's my theory. I'm sure some of you trolls will have different opinions and tell me how I'm doing it wrong. This one's getting ready to be formed up. There's a pipe I hit. This is a really good hole, actually. There's a drainage pipe that drains the downspout, and it is exactly right where the pier needs to go. And this was a big problem, and we talked about it for about an hour with the homeowner, and we decided to put the pier here anyway. And the pipe was damaged, but I wrapped it. They make a special tape that used to mend that stuff, and it's going to be entombed in concrete anyway, so who really cares? It's going to be great. So that's why this pier got to be really big and ugly, because I had to dig out the hole extra big to do the repair when I hit it with my post hole digger. So there we go. And you could see all the strings. All these strings were pulled to make sure that this structure was perfectly square and not a parallelogram. And we had to kick the boards around a little bit before we started pouring concrete today to make sure that we were exactly square on the diagonals, which we were. And so that's what the job looks like. This is going to be the first stage of the greenhouse. It's going to be beautiful. You could kind of see the yard. The yard's already pretty beautiful. Not as beautiful as my beautiful van. Look at that sucker, 1989. Okay, so there's the greenhouse. Look at this beautiful, this is 1900s, something like that. Beautiful historic building. And here's some rain capturing stuff we're going to incorporate with the garden. There's going to be a lot more things going on here, so we'll just update as we go.